And along with Jorge Garza and Javier Zambrano, we were able to make this presentation about the myth of werewolves. The original myths. In the Greek myth of Lycaon and Zeus, a mischievous and egoistical king, Lycaon, begins to make child sacrifices to the gods, acting like an animal of some sorts, ultimately leads to Zeus making the king and his sons wolves. In the Nordic saga of the Volsunga, there is also an excerpt in which a father and a son discover wolf pelts that had the power to turn people into wolves for 10 days. Both father and son made a killing rampage in the forest, which eventually ended when the father attacked his son, causing a lethal wound. In these pictures, in the picture above, we can see Zeus turning Lycaon and his sons into wolves, and in the picture in the bottom, we could see the father holding his son in his arms after he is lethally wounded. In the Mexican mythology, there's a popular legend around the Nahual, which are supposedly spirit animals that are born at the same time one is born. Nahuales transform into animals to echar el mal. What is the necessity of fulfilling? Why is this myth a thing? The necessity that is fulfilled is that it shows the sane and savage duality of the modern man by how it showcases that people, if left unattended, can become an animal within themselves and slowly distance themselves from society. For that, I thought about nowadays how mental health is such a big issue. That could be one of the main roots of this myth. What values can be recognized in it? The values that can be recognized of it is that we as wolves are tied to a pack, as our pack is society. If we feed into our savagery and self-interest solely, we might turn into a creature that is not capable of understanding and thus causes chaos. That is much like how we were before we evolved into humans and we were just cavemen. How is it connected with other myths? This myth is connected with others because it shows the aspect of the human spirit that we all have, and an opponent, a duality that we can be if we learn to control. A werewolf, which is a werewolf that we might have, but we must learn to control it. In other myths, we can see this as well. What conducts are the characters assuming, and what is the cause for them not acting and not assuming these conducts? Something that is very important is that all these stories share is the human nature behind them. They are always tied to being somewhat human and behaving like one, even if it is at different degrees. They are unfortunately seen as dangerous beasts in the public eye, and regular humans would think twice before approaching one of these creatures. But a lot of times, in different myths, werewolves do show their humanity more than their savagery. And what are the characteristics of a werewolf? How do you know if you see one? Well, they are wolf-like humans. They have fur and wolf ears, just like the one shown in the picture. They're typically unhappy with who they are. They avoid humans, and they do not go out when there's full moons because they lose control and turn into a wolf from being a human. And a lot of the times they have anger issues, which leads to them transforming as well. How has the myth changed throughout different narratives? What other manifestations have changed and adapted it? Nowadays, they portray werewolves as more openly in touch with humans. They live in a relatively normal life amongst their common humans, but show their true colors at night. Something really prevalent now is the accurate change that happens between day and night. An apparently normal human at night, but a wolf-like beast at night. This we can see in the many TV shows that we see actively today, just like shown in the picture. And these are the references. Thank you very much.